You know that feeling when your whole world just stops, like someone hit the pause button on your life, and everything around you freezes, the sounds, the colors, even your own breath. That was me, 3 years ago, standing in the middle of our apartment, holding a single sheet of paper with 4 words that shattered everything. I need space. I still remember the exact moment. It was a Tuesday. Rain was tapping against the window like a nervous drummer. She'd been quiet all morning, not her usual self. I thought she was just tired, maybe stressed. People get quiet sometimes, right? But then she handed me that note and walked out the door. No explanation. No goodbye. Just that cold, clinical phrase that's become the universal code for "I'm done." But I don't want to say it. At first, I didn't move. I just stood there, staring at the paper in my hands, as if the words might rearrange themselves into something less devastating. I need space. Simple, clean, brutal, like a surgeon's scalpel, precise, emotionless, and cutting straight to the bone. I'd always thought I knew what heartbreak looked like. Movies had prepared me for dramatic scenes, screaming, crying, throwing things. But reality was quieter, more insidious. It started with the small things. The way the coffee mug she'd left on the counter seemed to mock me. The silence where her laughter used to fill the room. The empty side of the bed that felt like a gaping hole in the fabric of my universe. The first week was a blur. I called her, texted her, showed up at her sister's place, the only other address I knew she might go to. Each time, I was met with silence or short, clipped responses. "I'm okay. I need time. Please stop contacting me." The more she pulled away, the more I chased. And the more I chased, the further she slipped through my fingers. There's a particular kind of madness that sets in when you're drowning in uncertainty. You start seeing signs everywhere. A text from an unknown number. Maybe it's her. A woman with similar hair walking down the street. Could be her. You become a detective in your own tragedy, searching for clues in every shadow, every whisper, every fleeting moment that might prove she's still out there, still thinking of you. I remember sitting in my car outside her favorite coffee shop for hours, watching people come and go, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. When she finally appeared, my heart leapt into my throat. But she wasn't alone. There was a man with her, laughing, touching her arm, holding the door open. I watched them walk inside together, and in that moment, something inside me broke. Not with anger, not with sadness, but with a cold, hollow realization. This wasn't a temporary separation. This was the end. The days turned into weeks. I tried to distract myself, worked late, hit the gym until my muscles screamed, met up with friends who offered sympathetic nods and empty platitudes. Time heals all wounds. You'll find someone better. But their words felt like bandages on a bullet wound. They couldn't reach the raw, bleeding core of what I was feeling. And then came the nights. Oh, the nights were the worst. That's when the silence really closed in. When the memories played like a movie reel on repeat. Our first date, her smile when she laughed, the way she'd fall asleep with her head on my shoulder. I'd lie there, staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation, every moment, searching for the one thing I'd missed. The turning point. The moment everything went wrong. Was it when I worked late 3 nights in a row? When I forgot our anniversary? When I stopped saying I love you as often as I used to? The truth is, I still don't know. And that's the cruelest part of heartbreak. The not knowing. The endless loop of what if. And if only that plays in your head like a broken record. I started noticing changes in myself. Little things at first. I'd catch myself staring into space during meetings. Forgetting to eat. Sleeping too much or not at all. My friends said I looked exhausted. But exhaustion wasn't the right word. It was more like depletion. As if someone had drained all the color and light from my world, leaving behind a gray, muted version of the man I used to be. One night, I found myself standing in front of the mirror, really looking at myself for the first time in months. Who was this stranger with hollow eyes and unkempt hair? When had I stopped taking care of myself? When had I become this shadow of a man, defined entirely by loss? That's when something shifted. It wasn't sudden. It wasn't dramatic. It was more like a slow, quiet awakening. I realized I was stuck in a loop, replaying the past, obsessing over what went wrong, waiting for a future that might never come. And in doing so, I was missing the present, the one life I actually had control over. So I made a decision. Not a grand, life-changing epiphany. Just a small, stubborn refusal to keep living like this. I started with the basics. Made my bed every morning. Cooked real meals instead of surviving on takeout. Went for walks, not to clear my head, but to notice the world around me. The way sunlight filtered through leaves. The sound of birds at dawn. The smell of rain on pavement. It was painful at first. Every moment of mindfulness felt like swimming against a current. My thoughts kept pulling me back to her, to what we'd had, to the future I'd imagined. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, the current began to weaken. I started journaling, not to analyze what went wrong, but to track how I felt in the present. Some days were brutal. Others held small victories. A good conversation with a coworker. A book that made me forget my troubles for a few hours. A sunrise that took my breath away. Then came the hardest part. Accepting that some questions might never have answers. Why did she leave? What could I have done differently? Would we ever get back together? The truth was, I might never know. And clinging to those questions was like holding onto shards of glass. It only hurt more the tighter I gripped. So I began letting go. Not of her, that would take time, but of the need to understand, of the fantasy that, if I could just figure out the right equation, I could reverse what had happened. One evening, about 6 months in, I found myself laughing at a stupid comedy with a friend. It wasn't forced. It wasn't trying to be happy. It just happened. And in that moment, I realized something profound. I was still alive. Not the same man I'd been before, but someone new. Someone who had been broken and was slowly learning how to hold the pieces together. Recovery isn't linear. There are good days and bad ones. Sometimes, a song or a scent will bring it all rushing back, and I'll find myself sitting in the dark, wondering if I'll ever truly move on. But those moments are fewer now, and when they come, I let them pass through me like a storm, knowing they'll clear eventually. Looking back, I see now that heartbreak wasn't just a loss. It was a transformation, a brutal, unforgiving teacher that showed me things about myself I'd never wanted to see. My dependencies, my fears, the ways I'd lost myself in someone else. But it also showed me my resilience, my capacity to feel deep pain and still choose to keep living. I don't know where she is now. I don't know if she's happy, or if she ever thinks of me. And strangely, that's okay. Because my happiness isn't contingent on her anymore. It's built on small, daily choices, to get up, to show up, to keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. If you're going through something like this now, I want you to know, it won't always hurt this much. The days will come when you wake up and the first thought isn't about them. When you laugh without forcing it. When you look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. It takes time. It takes work. But it happens. Heartbreak doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of a different one. One where you learn to love yourself first. Where you discover strength you never knew you had. Where you build a life that doesn't depend on someone else's presence to feel complete. This is not a happy ending. It's not even really an ending at all. It's just a new beginning. Messy, uncertain, but full of possibility. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe. You're not alone in this.